Hello, everyone. So I just completed Hollow Knight Silksong, the Act 3 true ending of the game. I beat it with a little bit of extra time on the stream, like an extra 50 minutes. So I'm just going to make an extra video where I hang out with the audience. I have no idea if this will be interesting or not. If you're interested, watch it. If not, it's all good. You can skip it. But I figured, hey, why not make the extra piece of content? So I'm actually having a discussion with Da Bomb about the hardest stuff. Like, what's the hardest thing in Hollow Knight Silksong? I would say the hardest thing in Hollow Knight Silksong, honestly? Okay. No, do you want me to be honest? I actually think that the last judge is the hardest thing. The reason I say that I think the last judge is the hardest thing in Silksong is because you have to do that crazy boss run, going through all of the blasted steps every time you die to it. It has 3 phases. All the phases are more difficult and challenging. At that point in the game, unless you've really gone out of your way, you don't have all the necessary upgrades. Like, you won't have a lot of health. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of thread. I actually think that the last judge is the hardest thing in the game. And people are like, oh, that's like a skill check to get to the second half of the game. That's the that's the hardest part. I would say the boss run and then last judge is the hardest thing. Second hardest is Carmelita, and third hardest is the final boss, Lost Lace. That's my opinion. You could disagree, but man, that last judge killed me. Like I said, that last judge, that was when I got this callus on my thumb, and my thumb was throbbing red because you have to keep doing the boss run and then the ridiculously tough boss fight. So that took me over an hour to beat. I think Carmelita, so Lost Judge took me like 90 minutes to beat, last judge. Carmelita took an hour, and then the final boss only took like maybe a half an hour. I agree. Dominic says, I love the musical scores for Silksong and Clair Obscur. This year was a year of great music in the best games, for sure, right? Clair Obscur with that outstanding soundtrack. Clair Obscur, amazing. And Silksong had that haunting melodies in certain parts. World design, too. The world design of both Clair Obscur and Silksong, amazing variety, right? In the worlds as you go through these games. Pretty awesome. How long was the game in total? For me, a little over 60 hours. I think the playthrough will clock in at, hold on. I'm at 55 parts. That final part is 56, but that was 2 hours long. And many of the parts are longer than an hour. Roughly 60 hours. And I 100%ed it, except I didn't do the races. I didn't do the mushroom optional quest, and I didn't collect every item. But I beat every boss. I mapped every single dungeon. Basically, I did all the meaningful stuff was completed by the end of the game, 100%. You know what's funny? At the very end there, I did the final upgrades for the tools, and then I didn't use the tool in the final fight, so I didn't even need it. It didn't even do anything for me, really. And that's right, I missed the cursed ending too, but not that that's a huge deal. Was the final boss fight better than K. Rules in Bonanza? I'll be honest, the whole final hour of Bonanza was outstanding. The final stage with all the throwback enemies from Donkey Kong Country, the K. Rool boss fight, all of that was outstanding and great. The only problem was the graphics failed. The console chugs in the final boss fight, but that's the best part of the game, hands down. So, I mean, that's a tough choice because that's the only great part of Bonanza is the last hour. Oh, absolutely. Hashtag Fluffy says, for the amount of content you get for the price, it's a good game to buy and own. It's $20. Hollow Knight Silksong is $20, and it's 60 hours of content. And it's good content. Look, this is what I was saying on the podcast this morning. If you think of the longest games in the last several years, like last 5 years, you say, oh, Elden Ring. That's true, but Elden Ring has dungeons that are padded because they're just repetitive content, and they reuse the bosses 5 zillion times. In Hollow Knight Silksong, I can only think of 3 bosses that are ever reused. And this game is 60 hours long. That's insane. That every time you go to a new area, there's all new enemies, new location. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely wild. Savage Beastfly, Tormented Trobio, Cogwork Dancers, Green Prince, anything else. I'm not even saying that. Savage Beastfly is the same fight twice with a little tweak. That's a reuse. There's the guy with the club. I forget his name because I think he's like a mini boss, but he's used multiple times. Excuse me. And there's a third one that's also like a side, but I wouldn't say the Tormented Trobio is the same. It's basically of an easy version of the fight and a hard version that's the real fight. I don't even think that's reusing a boss, honestly. Same thing with the Cogwork Dancers and the Green Prince. Yes, it does reuse the same fight from the Cogwork Dancers, but it's different. They add enough elements to make it feel like it's its own fight. Just like you're fighting Lace multiple times in the game, they're all different fights. I don't even consider that reused bosses. I'm saying like a one-for-one copy-paste. Like in Elden Ring, how many goddamn times did it have the corrupt tree spirit, the stupid tree guardian fat ass dude with the club, or the stupid giant dudes? You know, they use that a zillion times in the fucking game over and over. The dragon bosses, oh my God. The dragon bosses used like 400 times, right? So that's like blatant copy paste shit. While in this game, if they're going to use a boss again, they upgrade the boss to make it feel like this is the real fight before it was the warm up. So I don't even care about, like, I wouldn't even say Trobio is the same boss. It's completely different that second time. He's so hard. And for the record, if you wanted to ask me what's the fourth hardest thing in the game, I think it's this harder Trobio, the second Trobio. He was tough too. So he's probably fourth hardest in the game for me. Did I have a picture frame of Hollow Knight Silksong? What on earth does that mean, Willow? I don't know what that means. Am I a fan of togas? I've never worn a toga in my life, so I couldn't answer that. I don't know if I would love it or hate it. The bomb says hardest section, probably the platforming above the cradle. Yeah, that's the hardest platforming section of the game. But the second being the fray, the mountain. But yeah, that's definitely the hardest platforming in the game. Kills your thumb, you know, crazy required, strict timing. Conger, we beat the whole game. We're done. 100%. And I did not use the cog flies at all. And I used Hunter. Because a lot of people are saying that Wanderer is like overpowered and the best in the game. So I went back to Hunter. And I beat it with Hunter Crest. Essentially, I wanted to beat it and feel like I accomplished it rather than I used cheesy game mechanics to beat it. So, I can smell it. My wife is making homemade slow cooker beef stew for dinner. Oh, it smells good. We got all these great ingredients. We got little baby carrots. We got peas, sweet peas. We got some diced sweet onion. We got, yellow, or what are they called? Yukon gold potatoes. What else? There's something else in there too. Oh, now I'm forgetting. There's something else. And then really awesome, like no fat tenderized beef that I bought, pre-tenderized. It looks amazing. And she's been slow cooking it all day. All those different ingredients you put in there, like put a bay leaf and the beef broth and all the seasonings. Oh man, I can't wait to have it for dinner. It's going to be so good. Perfect season for it because it's cold outside. It's raining. It's exactly the weather you want to be eating a nice bowl of beef stew after beating a difficult game like I just beat. It's going to be like, oh, here's my big hearty reward, man. Fill my stomach. It's going to be great. What's up, King Michael? How are you? What's up, Original Grant? A lot of you guys are joining. Am I going to eat the croissant? No. But we bought Hawaiian rolls, and we're going to dip those Hawaiian rolls in the stew and eat it with them. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait for dinner. And man, this worked perfectly. We beat the game. I did everything in the game meaningful. Great playthrough. Didn't go crazy and lose my mind and rage at the end. Good stuff. So what do you guys want to talk about? Here, let me type in Kick Chat. Whatever you guys want to talk about. We just have like a half an hour to kill. Whatever's on your mind, guys. Am I a fan of pumpkin pie? My wife is. I think pumpkin pie is okay. I prefer apple or cherry. Or blueberry, too. But pumpkin's okay. What was my favorite boss in all of Silksong, regardless of difficulty? That's a tough question. Because it's such a long playthrough. How do you remember all the bosses, right? Like, I would have to go back really and review the entire list of bosses to answer that question. I've never had kimchi stew, no. I've had kimchi as an ingredient in certain things. I've had kimchi in like a bibimbap, but I've never just had kimchi in like a stew or the main course of something. I did not hear they're working on a Fallout 3 remake, no. The only thing I know of that is that years ago it leaked during the Xbox acquisition of Activision trial, if you remember. That information leaked on the internet or whatever, that they were working on it, but there was no concrete information about it. Clown Meat, thank you for $2. Appreciate that. We're $1 away from $200. You know what? Think of it this way. Let's say in the next 40 minutes that I'm here, we hit 300 bucks. That's 2 goals, only 1 goal left. And then if we hit the goal tonight for Tormented Souls 2, that means tomorrow we're doing DSP Tries It Jollibee Returns, where I'm going to be doing Spicy Joy Chicken. Was it Chicken Joy? Spicy Chicken Joy. This noodle dish that they have that's unique to that place. It's supposed to be like a Filipino noodle dish with a soft-boiled egg. I'm going to do a Aloha version of one of the sandwiches, and I'm going to get the mango peach dessert pie. Very nice. I'm supposed to get a big snowstorm? No, I'm not. There's no snow coming to me. There's rain today, all day, bad rain, but it's not cold enough for snow. We're in the 50s. Yeah, look at this, crazy amounts of snow. Right now, we got crazy strong wind, rain, and inclement weather outside. It's pretty bad. Gilbana, thank you for a £1 super chat. Appreciate that. So now we're at 200. Only 100 to go to hit a second goal for this stream. I'm sure we'll do it. Ever had banana pie? I want to say I did have a banana cream pie once, ages ago, but I don't really remember. I think I've had it because I think I remember the flavor. Pot of Desire, thank you. He says, congrats on beating the game. Thank you, Pot of Desire. I've never had a sweet potato pie. Don't know what that would be like. I do like sweet potato, like mashed potatoes or a baked sweet potato, but I've never had a sweet potato pie. We're talking about all these autumn foods now as I have an autumn montage over here. Well, if you were reading the news about a snowstorm, you weren't reading the news about where I live. You can't snow when it's in the 50s, temperature-wise. How close are we to the sub goal? So we set up a sub goal this morning of 125 subs on Kick by the end of the month. Excuse me, by the end of this week, which is Friday. It's now Wednesday, for the record. And we are currently at 13 out of the 125. So we are 1/10 of the way to the goal. 1/10 of the way to the goal. But we're going to need a big rallying of sub support if we are going to hit the goal. And if we hit the goal, I will enable the text messages in the moral support messages on Kick. So get to it right now. Let's get some subs on Kick and unlock that feature. Let's go. A new grift? No, you see, a grift, the word grift, essentially, here's the problem with the word grift. Grift means you're swindling. It means you're being dishonest, you're lying, you're cheating. Me saying, hey, there's a goal, and if we hit a goal of support, I do something, is not a grift unless I don't go through with what I say. So if we did hit the 125 subs and then I didn't give you guys the text messages for moral support, that's a grift. But if I actually do it, it's not a grift. You understand? The word grift implies that there's some kind of deception, some kind of bullshit behind it. You know, that's what the word grift means. So Swaggy P says, DSP Tries It, the Arby's deep fried turkey gobbler sandwich. We talked about this on the podcast. You probably missed it. So here's the deal. DSP Tries It is currently the return to Jollibee. After we return to Jollibee, next I want to do Thai food. Why? Because I've technically never done a DSP Tries It episode on Thai food. Like, over a decade ago, I believe I ate Thai food on camera, but that wasn't for DSP Tries It. So I want to actually do DSP Tries It Thai food. And then after that, we probably will do the Arby's Thanksgiving turkey gobbler sandwich along with their apple pie shake. Okay? Your wife is making carne asada for dinner. Is your wife, like, Hispanic? Does she do this all the time? Is she great at it? That's cool. If so, I mean, that's awesome. Carne asada is great. I used to get it when I used to eat red meat. I used to get carne asada, and I loved it. When am I doing a gym stream? Never. I said, you know, people have asked, can we have workout videos? And I said, yes, for $5,000. For a $5,000 contribution, if someone drops $5K, I will release some workout videos for you guys. There you go. That was the agreement. And so far, since I made that offer, no one has dropped a $5,000 contribution. So therefore, no workout videos for you guys. All right? That's the only reason that I would ever drop the workout videos, $5K. That's it. I have no idea what I'll get for Thai food, King Michael, but I know Thai food has a lot of good stuff. So we'll see. No, since people are being apprehensive on Kick, if we hit 125 subs by the end of the week on Kick, and I enable the text messages for moral support, I will not disable them unless there's a actual reason that I need to. For example, there's a bug and all of a sudden the trolls can start doing stuff like doxing and shit again, then I'll turn them off, but only then. I would leave the text and the moral support messages on if we hit 125 subs by the end of the week. I'm not just going to turn them off on a whim. That's messed up. So only if Kick breaks the system and it's needed for safety would I disable it again. You're not funny. Actually, they have in some places. He says, I can't wait to marry my robot wife who will make carne asada for me. Or wait, did they ban that form of marriage already? They have in certain states. They're outlawing the recognition of an AI as a person. And therefore, if an AI cannot be recognized as a person, then you could not legally marry an AI because you have to marry a person to person, see? Like right now, it doesn't matter how much you're in love with this wrist rest for my mouse, you couldn't marry this. They wouldn't let you because it's not a person. Dominic says, probably a long shot. Would you go back to Blueprints and find more secrets? The thing is, I like Blueprints. I would have kept playing Blueprints, but I think Blueprints reached its logical ending point. I mean, how many parts did it have? Let me see. Let's see how many parts we had. 41. 41 parts. And a lot of these Blueprints parts were around an hour 15 to an hour and a half long. We did the math and found out that the playthrough was around 60 hours long. So pretty much just as long as Hollow Knight Silksong was. And the thing is, I enjoyed Blueprints every single time we played it. You know what I mean? Like, I really did enjoy the game. I would absolutely, consider playing it again. But we would need people to actually, confirm they're going to show up, engage, and support it. I can't stream something no one's going to show up for. Sadly, that's what happened at the end of Blueprints. We weren't getting viewers. We weren't getting anyone talking about the game. And there was no support for it either. So I had to logically end it. Like, not much else I could do. The thing is, there wasn't that much left to do, right? There was the throne room puzzle, which we were working toward, but we couldn't get all the stars to align to perfectly do it. So we couldn't finish it. After that, from what I'm to understand, there was only like a couple puzzles left in the game, but they're all insanely time-consuming and RNG reliant. So that's why we didn't really go any further. Yes, I'm playing Black Ops 7 1 week from this Friday when it releases on the 14th, and I am excited for it. I'm hoping it's going to end up being a great game for the variety stream. Multiplayer, intense, online action, rage, but triumph, kill streaks, different loadouts. It should be fun. Dominic says, yeah, there's a whole secret section of the game, but it takes a lot to get to it. So there you go. We ended at the throne room puzzle, and I never got further because it just took too long to do, and viewers weren't interested in seeing me sit around wasting entire streams for a chance to complete it. So that's why we never did it. Now it's been months removed. I'm sure, like you're saying, there's probably even more to the game, but it's like, damn, how long are we going to play this and not find it? Let me put it this way. If there was an absolute way to guaranteed find the secret section and do the content, then I would maybe plan it, but I can't be doing, hey, we have 3 streams we're just going to do, and we may or may not make any advancement, or we're just wasting each other's time, because that's how the game is laid out. I do think that's actually a critical flaw of the game. If you know what to do, you should be able to do it. Not, random chance of this happening or that happening. That's not good. No, I don't play with subs for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I am a solo gamer, and that's what people tune in for. They want to see me play a game on my own merits, interact with the chat, and have fun. If I'm playing in a team, it means I have to interact with said team, talk with them, communicate with them, and that means I'm disconnected from the audience. People don't like that. I've tried this many times with games over the years. People always say it's a better experience when you're interacting with us, not when you're interacting with a team. In addition, trolling is rampant in my content. Undoubtedly, people would find a way to get in and ruin the experience for everyone. I actually used to, at the end of every single year, I used to have a full dedicated 1 to 2 weeks that I actually called the fan week or fan appreciation week. And it literally would be 2 weeks of just multiplayer. But what ended up happening was, over the years, as trolling got more common on the internet, people would ruin those experiences. So I'd have 10 real fans and 10 trolls, and the 10 trolls would stand around picking their nose, teabagging, fucking around, and we would lose every match, and it wasn't fun. So once that started happening and it became more of a trolling event than a fun event for fans, I stopped doing them. And this was a long time ago, and certainly the situation has not gotten better. It's gotten way worse. That's why I don't bother with it. I don't give the trolls the crap that they want. Instead, I just have fun and make the content that people want to see. So that's why I don't do those, and I'm not going to do them. Harold says, I would rather get dental surgery without anesthesia than play Silksong, so massive kudos for beating it. I feel like that game was right up my alley once I got into the rhythm of it being a Metroidvania and the platforming aspect, because I've beaten ultra difficult games before, right? I have, but never that style. So for me, being that I didn't even play the original Hollow Knight, it was a big learning curve to get into the whole fast-paced, difficult platforming, difficult combat style Metroidvania. But I did, and then I started to love the game. It took a few streams, but then it kind of clicked, and I was like, oh man, this game is really good. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well. Yes, I would like to someday play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Absolutely, I would like to do that. I don't know how I would do that, because I don't know where it's available, but I would love to play that. I know that there's several Castlevania, like, collections. Castlevania Advance Collection. Castlevania Anniversary Collection, that's the one I have. That doesn't have it. Does anyone know where Symphony of the Night is? Like, what it's in? There's Lords of Shadow. There's actually a Castlevania Dominus Collection. Haunted Castle Revisited, a Castlevania arcade game? I didn't even know there was a Castlevania arcade game. Yeah, I don't know where Symphony of the Night is. I can't find it. Does anyone know if it's in a collection you can get? I would love to play it. Requiem on the PS5, is it on Steam at all? Little Izzy did a $2 super chat and says, do I have any favorite N64 games? Mario 64 and Star Fox 64 are my two favorites. With a special honorary mention to Mario Kart 64, but I actually did like Mario and Star Fox better than those. The Requiem set on PS4. Again, you're saying PS4. Is it on PC? I would prefer to play games on PC, especially because soon I'm probably going to buy new controllers for PC that would be excellent for retro-style games. I don't want to play it on PlayStation if I can play it on PC. So is it available on PC at all? It is not officially available on Steam. Symphony of the Night has not been officially ported to PC and is not included in any collection. The most common way to play it is through a console port or emulating it. Wow. I would have to play it on freaking Sony. That sucks. That stinks. Yes, Symphony of the Night is on the PS5 as part of the Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood collection, which can be played on PS5. It's a PS4 version that's backwards compatible with PS5. Some online features may not be available. X-Shooter, how are you doing? Thanks for a $5 super chat. He says, would you try out Dispatch one day? Well, people had been talking to me about Dispatch recently, but after looking into it a little bit, I think once again, this might be a game that I want to avoid because the game sadly seems to have certain themes that are political, cultural, that are very much leaning in one direction. And again, I don't want to play games that have this kind of focus. I don't understand why in 2025, we can't make good games that don't have anything to do with politics or left or right-leaning culture. Like, for example, Silksong. Did that have any of that? Absolutely not. Claire Obscure, did that have any of that? Absolutely not. Blue Prince, did that have any of that? Absolutely not. The best games of the year for me are the games that I was able to enjoy and not be embroiled in controversy because of the content that they have in them. You see what I'm saying? So the moment that, I'm interested in Dispatch. Aren't you aware that there's gay scenes in Dispatch and that there's this and that and that you could do this instead? Wait, what? And again, not that there's anything wrong with being gay. There's not at all, okay? But it seems like these game developers are purposefully inserting these narratives in to try to get attention for themselves, to try to get people worked up to talk about the game and to be either in an uproar or to be happy that it's in there. Personally, I don't give a shit if it's in there or not, but I don't want to play the game and have the entire talk about the game be about that. Ghost of Yote, I've heard is actually a pretty good game, but if I had played it the entire time, I would have had to hear people yelling about how the protagonist is voice acted by a woman who says she's part of Antifa, her and her wife, and that the game devs are all anti-conservatives. I don't want to hear that shit. So same thing with Dispatch. How much you want to bet that if I started to play this game, immediately you'd have crowds of people with pitchforks and torches coming to my stream. Did you hear this? Fuck, no, I just want to play the game. I just want to play the game. You would think that now game devs would be smart enough to say, we don't want these themes in our game because it actually creates too much controversy around it. Like if Ghost of Yote literally didn't have that shit in it, that game might have been the best-selling game of the year. Okay, it's not going to beat Call of Duty, but it might have actually sold triple what it did, and everyone would have played it without any controversy. Instead, they had to do that dumb shit. So anyway, not that I'm saying anything negative against Dispatch X Shooter. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I heard, yeah, once again, this is a controversial game. People are having issue with it, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to have a good stream without people coming with, again, freaking out. You know, I literally don't want to have another South of Midnight. That was I'm not even kidding you. The South of Midnight stream was my least favorite stream of the entire year. Because here I am, I'm sitting down just ready to enjoy a game, and I start to play. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It kind of feels like an old Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter platformer. And I'm enjoying myself. And I turn to the chat. Oh, it's woke. It's this. It's that. I'm not watching. I'm not supporting. Fuck. That's the last thing I want, you know? And I don't want to sit here and then have to, well, now I have to yell and say, waggle my finger at my viewers because they're acting like this. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't, okay? I got better things to do. And again, back in the day, it was never like this at all. Like literally, it was never like this at all that this was a part of the issue. Never was it an issue. It was just, you could just play a game and enjoy it. Now we have to have all the politics and the culture wars always on our minds when we play these fucking games. I don't get it. Swaggy P says, I don't know if this is official. This is Swaggy P saying it. Ghost of Yote sold 650,000 fewer copies than Tsushima in the same 30-day window. Sucks that games are affected by politics. I mean, that does suck. You know, if the game is actually better than the first, it should sell better than the first. You know? And here's the funny part about it. That's including the boost of sales it got for people who were probably from the left and the lack of sales it got from the people on the right, you know, but a net loss sucks. Maybe the game actually is one of the best of the year. I'll never know because I'm not allowed to enjoy it. Just not allowed to. What are my thoughts on the Castlevania artist? If you mean like the traditional art of Castlevania, I think it's great. I love like old school hand-drawn art that looks like, you know, great quality anime detailed stuff. It's good shit. I love it. So Indian Cthulhu Variety Hour says, Yote is just kind of boring, slightly better gameplay, but it's mostly just more of the same, and the story is a lot worse. I mean, I think what's happened is people are just tired of the same revenge narrative because someone actually did a meme, and I think it was IGN, actually did an article, and it became a meme that literally every Sony exclusive game is the same plot. Something happens to someone in your family, like someone's murdered, someone's kidnapped, someone's mistreated, and then it becomes a revenge story. And then they go, you know, like God of War, you know, like The Last of Us, you know, like Ghost of Yote, you know, and they named like 10 Sony games in a row that it's the same plot. And everyone was looking and was like, oh shit, they're absolutely right. What happened that every fucking Sony game is the same plot? It's weird as hell that it turned out that way, but they're absolutely right. Like for me, I really like Ghost of Tsushima because that was a game about literally one invading race is invading another country. And now you have this big culture clash war going on. And you have to make the important decision. Do you want to stay in line with your own country's culture and be an honorable samurai? Or do you want to kind of play dirty and become kind of the stealthy ninja to save your country? That was a very unique part of the first game. I have no idea if there's anything like that in the sequel, you know, like anything at all. What part of Yote is woke? Literally the voice actress and mocap actress of the main character is an LGBTQ plus activist, a leftist activist who has said on social media that she's a member of Antifa and so is her wife. So is that part of the game? Well, her likeness is, her voice acting is. Is it actually part of the plot of the game? No. Is it part of the gameplay of the game? No. But it's still in the game. Right? That would be like saying, well, I made a game where there's a guy who's a hero and he goes through and he saves the country by killing an invading army. By the way, his face is Hitler. Would people like that? See what I'm saying? So if you have that association, you can't really separate it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't play the game, so I don't actually know the plot of the game. That's what I'm asking. Like, does it have ties to the first, anything like the plot or whatever? But you can't separate that. Like, if they if they didn't even use her mocap model, it was a different face. Maybe then it would have been easier to separate. But that's the problem a lot of people have with the game. And that one of the game developers, of course, apparently celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk. And of course, that makes people feel like other people who worked on the game are ultra leftists who probably feel the same, but they just didn't say it publicly. You know what I'm saying? Dominic did a $10 super chat. Thank you again, Dominic. He says, probably a rehashed topic. Can you go over your PC specs and how you recommend setting up a gaming PC? Wait, now you say gaming PC, not streaming PC? Because I have two PCs. First of all, if you want to see the specs of my PC, on either chat, type !PC into the chat, okay? It'll pop up a link, click the link, and you will get an actual imager picture that has all of the stats of my PCs, okay? Now, I actually don't have that in front of me, but if I go to my own stream, I can probably bring it up, so hold on a second here. I know you guys are probably going to do the command. There it is. Cool. So there it is. I'm staring at the picture just like you guys, all right? And the gaming and streaming PCs, as you can see, they're both Thermaltake towers, completely different builds. I mean, you're talking different processor type, different graphics card, although the graphics cards are close, but the one in the gaming PC is better. Same RAM, except slightly better RAM in the gaming PC. Hard drives, that's just because I bought SSDs. So that's really not here or there. Power supply, slightly better power supply in the gaming rig. Motherboards, you can see one's an ASRock, one's a Gigabyte, both running Windows 11. So, I mean, that's the basic info that I can give you about it. If you have like specific questions, I can try to answer, but I'm not a super technical guy. It might go right over my head. I don't know. And yes, nice fancy. They look fancy. They have all those lights in them. I use them every day. The RGB lighting, I use it every single day. Actually, today, this is the final time you're going to see this lighting. This was the official Silksong lighting scheme, where it's alternating bright red and bright white for Hornet. But this is it. I'm retiring it now after today because we beat Silksong. Just this text as well. This text I made specifically for Silksong, and now we will not use this text again for anything, anytime soon. So what's the next game in the rotation? I'm being asked. We're trying the Outer Worlds 2 on Sunday. We're going to see if it's any good. If it's good, we'll keep playing it. If not, we'll drop it. We can return to Super Mario Galaxy 2 if we wish. We're about halfway through that game, and I want to go back to it. And I want to eventually get to some of these indie horror games, such as, what was it? Your Friendly Neighborhood. I think that's what it was called. Or maybe some Left 4 Dead 2, or maybe some more of Poppy Playtime, maybe even getting My Side. I would like to delve into some of those games to fill in the cracks between the other releases that we're playing, which right now is Pokemon, Truck Sim, Tormented Souls 2, and very shortly, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So there you go. The villain says, I wish we would get another Crab's Treasure. We might. I heard another Crab's Treasure did pretty good. For what it was, it actually sold decently, and I think they are likely will consider another one. Anti-consumer practice, I have no idea what on earth you're talking about, and I've read your message 3 times, and I still don't understand it. No, I never thought Truck Sim would last as long as it did. Absolutely not. I thought Truck Sim would be a month, maybe 2 at most, and then as soon as new releases came, that would be it. We'd drop it, but dude, like I said, right now, Truck Sim has lasted since, April? The question is, can Truck Sim survive till 2026? Right now, it's going strong. It's literally lasting and going strong, so I guess we'll find out. What's up, Abysmal? How are you? All right, guys, last 10 minutes of hanging out here. Thanks for hanging out with the Post-Silksong Hangout session here. And remember that tonight we are doing Tormented Souls 2 on the late stream. I can't wait for that to return to the rotation. I hope you'll be here tonight for survival horror fun. Last chance to ask me questions or any contributions or whatever. Here we go. What are the thoughts on modern Assassin's Creed games? They suck. They suck. They lost the spirit of what they used to be. They don't even try to be as good as they used to be. They just follow a cookie-cutter formula, and they're terrible because of it. Shadows was awful. Valhalla was way too overlong, bloated, and not very good. and the one in the middle was good but too short. What was it? The one where it played like older Assassin's Creed? It just was too quick of a game and wasn't worth essentially the time you put into it because it's over as soon as you start getting good. So they just suck now. I'm not excited for Assassin's Creed games anymore, to be honest with you. Emperor Caleb Teen, that's awesome. He says he's been a creator on YouTube since 2006. I mean, is it a hobby? Do you do it for like actual like income or whatever? I'm just curious. If you've been around since 2006, you've seen a lot just like me. The villain, we already talked about that. That they had an Assassin's Creed game that was in development. They were going to start making this one in the slavery era. And you were supposed to be like a slave that gets emancipated. But then sadly, there's still people who are insanely racist and bigoted towards the emancipated slaves. And I guess it's supposed to be the Templars. So you become one of the Assassins Guild and you're fighting the Ku Klux Klan and shit. Like, I think that would actually be a good game. 100%. But they should have made that game instead of Shadows. Because that game could actually have taken place in its time frame. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was slavery in the United States. There was, the abolitionist movement. There was the Emancipation Proclamation. There was cultural dissent in the country for decades to come, as sadly, African Americans were treated as like an inferior race. And to have a game set in that time period when it was actually happening would have been perfect. Instead, they decided to do Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game set in Japan with a female ninja that never could have existed, with a black samurai that also never existed, a complete bullshit fantasy plot just to push agendas. So they fucked up. They could have actually did the liberal storyline they want, and it would have been good. But instead, they fucked up and did a horrible idea first and pissed off an entire country and everyone else who likes Assassin's Creed, and they shot themselves in the foot. So because of that, they canceled the entire game set in the slavery era. It's done. They said, we're not doing it. Due to the political climate, the backlash we're getting for Shadows, we're not going to make the game. So they're not. They've canceled the whole project. Pretty pathetic. Oh, so you never really made much doing it? I hear you. Wreckfest with the wheel. We played Wreckfest, but it wasn't great. We played Wreckfest, but it didn't really resonate with the audience, and I got kind of bored of it too within that first session that we tried it, so I never went back. Because someone's saying, would you ever play Wreckfest, but this time with your wheel accessory? I really don't think it would work, honestly. I'm curious because people have said there was a NASCAR game that came out on PlayStation last month, and it comes out on PC this month, and I'm wondering if it's any good. Like, only like one person has even brought it up, and I'm wondering if it's, is it worth looking into or not? Blucher, I can pretty much confirm we will be playing Hollow Knight at some point. Just not now because I don't want to do it directly after playing Silksong. That would be way too early, oversaturation. But I will probably play it eventually, maybe even sometime next year. I never played the Burnout series. No, I did not. Not to my knowledge, anyway. Maybe I did play a game back in the day, but I don't remember it. All right. Final couple minutes, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was fun. It really was. It was a fun hangout session. I had a good time. It was good to decompress after a super difficult game. Robust Enough for Me says, did you know there's more slaves today than in all of history? I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because here's why. We live in a very isolated culture. If you live in Western culture, meaning the United States, Canada, Mexico, Europe, right? These countries, you live in a culture that is so isolated from the rest of the world, it would blow your mind to know what actually goes down outside of our bubble. Because there is some crazy culture shit that happens on this planet outside of our bubble, And you would think, I can't believe they do that. Yes, they do. It's always been a part of their culture. We don't agree with it, but they do it. We know some of it, so we get exposed to some of it, but there's just crazy stuff that you would think, oh, no, that's not true. Slavery's been completely abolished. No, just because we don't have it here doesn't mean the rest of the world gives a shit about what we say is right or wrong, and they do whatever the hell they want. No, we're not bringing the bubble blow reward back because I'm now surrounded by expensive equipment that I'm not going to cover in bubble juice, get them dirty, disgusting, and cause them to malfunction. I'm not fucking around. My shit is valuable. I'm not messing with this stuff. It's annoying enough when I eat DSP tries it and I get fucking sauce and shit on stuff, but imagine bubble juice getting in my fucking, expensive ass keyboard here or getting all over my fucking camera. No, absolutely not. Screw that. What is my game of the year? I don't know yet. TX Shooter. I'll think about it by the end of the year and I'll do my series either in at late, December, early January. I may put some editing work into it this year because I actually have video editing software now that I can use. So maybe I'll actually take highlight clips and edit some scenes together and things to play while I'm actually giving like my countdown. I think that'd be pretty cool. But in general, no, I'm not going to reveal what I think, my picks are or anything yet. And there's still some games left. I still haven't tried Outer Worlds 2. We still got Call of Duty on the horizon. We still have Metroid Prime 4. That could be a candidate for best game. There's a few games there that could still be some of the best. So, I reserve my judgment until I've played all the stuff. Here's the hilarious part. Sylvana says, you say that about your equipment, but you don't turn off your PC or restart it for like days or weeks, so it's going to be fucked either way. My last PC, which I bought in 2014 and I got rid of in 2024, lasted a decade, I didn't turn off. And I didn't even do Windows updates on the fucking thing. I do updates on this one, okay? I literally had it running nonstop for a decade, and it never had a problem. You want to know what burnt out? The fans were burnt out. The thing is, on this one, I'm pretty certain I could replace the fans. This one seems pretty easy. You just slide it right open. You could probably easily replace any of that shit. Not a big deal. Like plug and play kind of a deal. The old one, because it was a custom build by a company, it was actually hard to get in there and do shit. This one looks pretty easy to like if I need to do something like that. And I have a cleaner. I actually have the little air fan that I used to blow. I clean out all the vents and everything. It's not going to end up being filthy dirty like my old one did. Blue Shirt thanks says, congrats on having 11,000 Kick followers. I wasn't even aware that we had hit 10,000. I don't really follow that stuff. I have no idea. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Great Post-Silksong decompression stream. I enjoyed the time I spent with you. See you soon for more.